Okay, so today Uncle's gonna do a kind of weird video. We're gonna talk about being like a guardian of the knowledge or helping to pass on the art to the next generations. And it's very important because if you don't pass it on, a lot of things get lost in the process. And so we're gonna go through examples, okay? So first example is, if you look at oh my bad. If you look at this paper right here, what you see is that whole bunch of little dots. The dots represent everything that there is to learn about the martial arts, okay? And then you have like variances of a student and a teacher, right? So the very first individual trying to learn everything of the art, that student, they hit their student capacity of learning everything, right? At a certain point, and they can't learn everything, so maybe they'll learn that much of the art. Okay, and you see all these little fringe dots on the outside. That's what they didn't learn. Okay, so those items are pretty much gone. Okay, and now this teacher now teaches to his students, right, or his or her students. And then what happens is he's only so good of a teacher. So even though he can learn all of these different things, really he can only effectively teach maybe that much of it. Okay? So you see all these extra stuff on the outside, that's like lost. Okay? Then again, you go through the same process with the next generation, right? Where the next generation is like, you got the smartest student, but even the smartest student can only learn that much of the art. Okay, that their teachers, they would have teach them. All this other stuff they didn't learn. So that was like lost. Okay? And some of this other stuff also represents stuff that the teacher thought, yeah, maybe I shouldn't teach that student that, so like basically, or that was something that was just too difficult for anybody to learn. Okay, so you see how the art gets degraded as time goes on, and there's less and less to teach, and then successively, the teacher can only teach so much, the student can only learn so much, until it dwindles down all the way to you get only the easy stuff that remain. Okay. So one of the things that has to happen in order for the art to continue moving forward is not only for people to continue to teach, but to dip in and try to get back what we lost. All of this area, all of this area, all of this area. We need to get back what we lost. And the only way we can do that is by continuing to learn, continuing to read books, continuing to read continue to go to different classes, continue to learn from different people. And if we don't do that, the art's going to be lost. And it's going to be lost by simple degradation like this. Teacher can only learn so much. They can only teach so much. The next student can only learn so much. They can only teach so much. And as time goes on, there's less and less that remains within the art. Then you get the personal biases of each teacher. I don't want to teach that, or the difficulty of the exact technique itself. Maybe of that technique, maybe like only 80% of that technique is transferred over because the other 20% is too hard. So if you can, continue to learn and continue to teach and continue to spread the art. Otherwise, it's going to be lost.